Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Weekend Wake Up. My name is Caitlin Idesty-Savel, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Leslie Gallagher.
Today we're wearing matching sweatshirts, so, that's cute. I'm very happy about it, but...
You got that Montclair State pride.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Montclair has good merch. I feel like it should be appreciated.
It's really cute. I got this as a gift.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's cute. I want to buy another one, to be honest, but anyway.
No. Before we move on, we're gonna give a quick shout out to Caitlin's hair because she got a haircut and I think it looks nice. And so far, no one has acknowledged it, so I'm acknowledging her hair.
Thank you. Yeah, nobody said anything about my haircut. It's okay. Even my stepdad, I came home and he like didn't notice for a whole day, and I was like, my hair's, that's fine.
Very dad thing.
It feels lighter. I'm very happy about it. But thank you, Leslie. I appreciate that.
I think once I dyed my hair like a totally different color, and my dad was like, "You look different," and I was like, "You really? Like really?" Sorry, Dad.
But anyway, we have a good show for you guys, but Leslie's going to start us off with this day in history.
Oh, yeah. So today's December 13th, the day before finals ends. So this should be, it's a good day for all of us to just catch up and relax. You guys got this and you'll get through finals. But anyway, let's find out what happened on this day in history. In 1759, the first music store in America opens in Philadelphia. 1759, that's so cool. I don't know.
No, yeah, it is. So that's like wild to think that was like the very first one though.
Yeah. It's like so long ago, but it's also like not. Does that even make sense? Like I almost like didn't think about like when music stores started opening in time. Never thought about it before. But anyways, in 1961, the Beatles signed a formal agreement to be managed by Brian Epstein. And in 1989, Driving Miss Daisy, directed by Bruce Beresford and starring Morgan Freeman and J.C. Tandy, is released. And the year after that, it won Best Picture. So yeah, some really cool news. I'm still jazzed about the music store thing. That is just crazy. 1700s music store. And in Philly, too. Philly's a great place.
But anyway, thank you, Leslie, for all those facts. I love listening to your facts every single week. They're very interesting, as always. But now we have Kathy here to give us some lifestyle updates. There's lots of cool things happening in the world. So, Kathy.
Lots of things are trending, and she's going to tell us all about it. What's our first topic today, Kathy?
Earlier this week, there was an announcement made. It was first reported on the TV Line website. But it was first announced that an iCarly reboot is currently in the works. It was also confirmed by Paramount Plus, which is a streaming service where the show will be appearing on. And as of right now, as for the cast members who will be officially returning, there is Meredith Cosgrove, who played Carly. There is Jeffrey Trainer, who played Spencer, and then Nathan Kress, who played Freddie. So how do you guys feel about this? I know that I'm pretty excited to see, I guess, this reboot of iCarly, since it's been a good few years since the show ended. So
Yes,
it feels like forever ago, to be honest.
Yeah, it feels like a very long time ago, but I loved the show growing up. I even had like a purse that said iCarly on it when I was 8 that I begged my parents to get me for Christmas. So good memories. What about you, Caitlin?
I loved iCarly too. Like iCarly was my favorite show. I had even Miranda Cosgrove, like I had her little CD with all the songs, and
So cute.
Yeah. I loved iCarly. So it was I don't know. It was my favorite show, but I don't know how to feel about this reboot because I saw it on social media the other day and I was like, wait, I didn't even know what was happening, first of all. That took me by surprise. But I'm just kind of curious about what they're gonna do because I feel like I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. Maybe it's not, but I feel like it's a normal opinion for shows. But like toward the end, it wasn't really as good, and it kind of they did that whole love story with Freddie and Sam, and then I think it ended with Freddie and Carly, and then like being together. And I don't know. I just don't know what they're gonna do because it ends, and Carly is going to live with her father in another country. So like I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I'm just kind of intrigued.
So wait, did they have any more details about the reboot? Like in my head, I was picturing like a sort of like a one-time reunion episode, like, oh, where are the characters now? But do they plan on making it like a whole nother show, or am I like misunderstanding it?
Yeah, no, as of right now, all I know is that there's something that is in the works from the
Right.
article. I want to say from what I was reading, it made it seem as though it'll be maybe a good amount of episodes,
Mm.
at least, especially. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm definitely excited. I mean, um, if anything, I hope that maybe Jeanette McCurdy might make her like
I
a
hope so.
reappearance as Sam, because I feel like if you hear the name Carly, Sam has to go like right next to it. Like it's Sam, Carly and Sam like the duo.
I was surprised that because like you said, her name wasn't one of the people that they said were gonna come back. So I was surprised to hear that, but also like I could see them doing it without her, and they're just like mentioning her like off doing something in
Mhm.
that way.
Yeah.
I guess we gotta watch to find out. We'll see what happens.
Well, if you want to hear something interesting, I was scrolling through the TikTok the other day, and I
TikTok.
the TikTok, yeah, and I saw Jeanette McCurdy pop up on my page, and she makes like a couple of videos about like childhood trauma and anxiety and having social anxiety, and she has like this whole like, and she talks about mental health a lot. Apparently, like she has a book and a podcast, I think.
Yeah.
And so like I think she's like going through a lot or something, and that, I don't know, maybe she just doesn't want to return to that kind of childhood like
Yeah.
acting days because it might bring up bad memories. So I don't want to assume, but you know what, I would be okay if she wasn't in it. As much as I loved her character, she's a person beneath that character. Seems like she's going through a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to add that in because it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely see where you're coming from that. And yeah, I mean, definitely, like we'll see. It's obviously still in the works. So we're talking about some other trending news. So you may remember the USC college admission scandal from about a year ago that Olivia Jade Giannulli was involved in. To give some background, she's a daughter of Lori Loughlin, who is best known for her role as Aunt Becky on Full House. So Olivia Jade broke her silence on the Red Table Talk interview with Willow Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, and her mother, Adrienne Barnfield Norris. Within this interview and everything, Adrienne brought up very good points about white privilege and how much easier it is for Olivia Jade to put everything behind her and move on, in a sense, and how in the end she'll be okay. So I did watch this interview. I watched most of it. I believe it's 30 minutes, and I think one can find it on Facebook. Is where the Red Table Talk interviews are found on. And from watching this, it was just pretty interesting, just because I was actually a fan of Olivia Jade, back in her YouTube channel days and everything, and to see everything kind of I guess in a say like kind of I guess in a sense, um like I don't want to say the word disappear, but for her, like I felt as though she kind of, from this whole scandal and everything, she definitely took time off social media and everything. So I think it's pretty interesting just to see how it affected her and her frame life and everything. But I do understand why there is all this controversy around it. And after a year later, she's finally legally able to talk about it. So it's interesting to see her point of view and perspective from it. But
Yeah, I mean, I feel like disappearing was a good word for it, like you said, because she kind of just, when that all happened, like she wasn't on social media, she wasn't posting on YouTube. That was just, she disappeared in a sense. And I'm sure her family was going through a lot. Honestly, when I heard about the Red Table, what is it, Red Table Talk? That's what
yeah,
it's called. When I heard about the interview, I love watching their interviews, and I only saw clips of this one. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, but when I heard about it, I was intrigued because I was like, wow, we haven't heard from her in a while. And I know there's a lot of different opinions on it. And I mean, I feel like even for me, I go back and forth sometimes too, because there's the whole conversation that's like, well, she probably knew what was happening, but then
yeah,
also, what if she didn't because she was a kid? And I don't know. I've just heard a lot of controversy on it. So it's interesting to hear what she has to say. But at the same time, like a lot of people, I don't know. I know one thing she said is she didn't want to victimize herself, so I appreciated that. She was like, "No, like I know we messed up, like I'm owning up to that." And I was like, "That's good because it's better than victimizing yourself. That would just make it
yeah.
worse." And it's uh, it's a crazy situation.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And I think that, now I don't know. I just think it's very interesting because again, like I said before, you know, like I was a fan of her YouTube channel and everything, like before everything. But as of right now, you know, I just think it's also the environment that she grew up in because again, she didn't know any better in a sense because you know, like you know, like it was in the lifestyle she lived in. She lived like she grew up in it. It was definitely a lot more like luxurious than most of us can say, I guess, in a sense, or you know, comparing it in a way. But I mean, yeah, I think it was interesting to see her break her silence. But you know, I do understand the backlash she's still receiving because you know she did say she did say how she did state how people do make mistakes and how she's 21 and she deserves a second chance. But you know, with a second chance, if that is what she does end up getting, I hope that she really does learn from it and everything. Because again, it's a second chance, and with this big of a scandal, I hope that she again, yeah, uh,
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
mean,
she learns from it. You know, I really do.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like when it first happened, I think I kind of felt bad because I was like, well, what if she didn't know? Because to be fair, I think it's safe to say that she kind of grew up in an ignorant lifestyle. Like she had everything given to her, and that's just my opinion. Like that's the way it seems. So I think there is a chance that she didn't know because her mom and her parents could have just been, they could have told her they were donating money to the school. Like we don't know what happened in that sense, so we don't know how much she knew. Um, but then also, like they were saying on the interview, at the end of the day, she's probably gonna be okay because she has money. She's not like it'll work out in the end. And if she does happen to get a second chance and she is more successful online again as an influencer, I hope that, just like you said, that she really, you know, what's the words? Like takes advantage of the
Yeah.
second chance because she can't like forget about this. Like it's something that happened and it's always gonna be a part of her and people
Yeah.
are gonna remember her for that. So it's just moving forward from this point. So this is a good first step, even
Yeah.
though it's a little controversial, but
Yeah. You know what? You've ever heard that phrase where it's like, it's not, I mean, out of context, it's not good, but it says, it's not necessarily about the mistakes you make, it's how you handle them afterwards, like how you own up at it, how do you apologize, and how you grow from it and become better. So I feel like that kind of applies here.
Mm.
Like, yes, this will be with her for her whole life, but if she, you know, makes a different name for herself and like, I don't know, moves on from it and shows that she's more than that, then, you know, that might just work.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Anyways, thank you, Kathy. And we'll see you next week on our holiday episode. I'm looking forward to your cheap but also awesome gift ideas segment. Should be fun.
See you next week.
but anyway, here's Kenny with some entertainment updates.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning. It's sad that I have to say good morning. I wish it was a good afternoon. I just woke up. I can say good afternoon. I'm super tired. All right, let's get right into it.
Wake up, Kenny.
Weekend wake up, Kenny. Yes. Let's get right into it. This one, as most people know, tragically, Chadwick Boseman, he died August 28th. He died at the age of 43. He is famous for many movies, one of them Black Panther. But the interesting thing about this, I read this article that they're not recasting him, which they're doing for honor's sake, which I like, but he plays the role of Black Panther. This is a movie in the Marvel universe that it made over $1 billion globally in the first month it was released. Marvel's huge. It's everywhere. It's got some of the most highest grossing. I think it is the highest grossing movie of all time upon release. I think Endgame is. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on it. But I know it's up there.
Mm-hmm.
While I understand the point of honoring an actor, I think it's wonderful that they're doing so. How are they going to make an actor? How are they going to make a movie without the title character?
You know, that's an interesting question. I'm glad that they're honoring him, but it does difficult. The only thing I can think of is maybe they're doing like a multiple main character type cast where like multiple people are the main character, or there is no main character. It's just a story about a lot of people. Like I don't really know how the Marvel universe works, but that's all I can think of. Caitlin, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be sad if I watch it and he's not there. That's just gonna make me really depressed. But I love Black Panther. So I don't know like how are they gonna do it?
Yeah. Like Leslie said, it's great that they're trying to honor him, and I fully support that. I think they should. Just
I mean, maybe they have some scenes already filmed and then they're kind of just maybe they'll just
there wasn't
talk.
much information I could find, but I find that really interesting. And what do you two think of the decision in general?
Like to make the second one?
No,
Until
like just this whole situation. Like I said, great to honor him. Just I don't understand.
I don't know if it's even like I know they would be missing out on a lot of, money if they didn't make a second one, but like it's almost kind of weird that they're making a second one because yeah, they're asking in honor of him, but it's also like a little bit of weird to like get a second one without him because they can't. Does that
Yeah,
make sense? Like I don't
that's
know.
what
I don't
I'm
know.
thinking too.
No, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it
like
feels
I'm
like
trying
a
to find out.
business decision. It really feels like a business decision.
It could just pull. I think just pulling it would be more honorable. Just leaving it at one.
Yeah, I think so too. But of course, the movie industry it's always going to be about how can we use money. But
Yeah.
do you guys think people would even go and see this movie out of like, bad taste for like not liking that sort of situation? Do you think they'll make just as much money? What's your prediction?
I mean, yeah, I think it's Marvel. I think everybody loves to go see the Marvel movies, whether they think they're going to be good or not. I would see it just out of curiosity, and also, I mean, I watched the first one, so like,
I think they'll make more money.
Even the first one?
Yeah, I think because of his death, it's gonna
Maybe
really
it's more
affect
nostalgic
people that
for
go and
people.
see. He's not in it, but his
Mhm.
impact on that specific series
Yeah.
of Marvel movies, I think, could really affect it.
Yeah, maybe people will see it out of support for him, if that makes sense. Like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna carry
something
on
like
his
that. I don't know how to phrase it.
thing. Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
What else is coming out this year, Kenny?
This isn't coming out this year. It's coming out
Aw,
about a year and a half from now, which is so sad. But
I'll wait for it.
Toy Story, they announced a prequel called Lightyear. I am thrilled. I am so happy. It's supposed to come out June 17th, 2022. I am kind of angry. Tim Allen is not the voice of Buzz Lightyear. Chris Evans, that's funny. We were just talking about Marvel. Chris Evans is the voice. That's Captain America. The Lightyear movie is the first full-length spin-off movie of Toy Story series. They have many, spin-off shows, little specials, but this is the first full-length movie. And it takes place back when Buzz, he's just a young test pilot. He's a little Buzz.
It's so
Long
cute.
before he's Space Ranger. And he's flying with style. What do you two think of a prequel?
I love prequels. I love seeing like the life before like the movie itself happened, and like I love when writers like take their imaginations with them and just like run with it and just like create something so cool. I am beyond excited for this. I'm like internally screaming.
Me too.
aw, that's so
I'm like I
cute.
love Toy Story. It's great.
Oh my god, I haven't seen Toy Story in so long, but I agree with you though. Like, it's nice to see the prequel and just kind of, you get that whole backstory. And I, I don't know. I don't even know what to say, but I'm excited to see it. Like, what are they gonna do?
I can't wait to see little Buzz.
I know. Well, I don't know how little he's gonna be. I just kind of said that, but
I know, but like he'll be like young Buzz. I want to
Ooh,
see
young
what he
Buzz.
was like because in the first movie he's like kind of like bossy and like this is my territory and like blah blah blah, and like I want to see like how he was when he was younger. Like was he always like that, or like I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much, but
No, I
No, maybe
understand
it was
like they
like
made
it's
him into
something.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. I didn't think about that. But I love Toy Story, so I gotta ask both of you. How do you two just feel about Toy Story in general?
love it, love it, love it, 10 out of 10. No, I feel like it's really nostalgic. I especially liked watching it as a kid and then like going up to my room and playing with my toys and keeping an eye on them to see if they would come to life, and they
I
never
would do
did.
that.
I was always so suspicious. I mean, it was
Mhm.
sus.
When I went to see Toy Story 3, like in theaters when it first came out, when my dad and two younger siblings, I came back and my mom was saying, I kept on putting, like, I had like a Woody doll or whatever. And she goes, I
Oh.
kept on putting Woody away. And every time I came back, he was out over here. Yeah, I didn't know she was kidding. No, so I
Aw.
thought she
That
like
is
meant
so
it seriously.
cute.
Actually, I thought that for a while. But I love Toy Story. I'm not a crier, but Toy Story 3 is the only thing that can make me cry every time
That is
Good.
so cute.
without fail. It's amazing.
Oh,
It's like I just sorry.
no, you go. I don't have.
I was just gonna say, like, I love like the movies like for kids, but they also work for adults, like how they tell, like they show kids like how to like overcome things that are hard in life. But it's also nice for parents because it's like nostalgic and like cute. I just love movies like that. They can apply to any age and they can be applicable throughout your life, you know, as a kid, you know, in school or an adult going through like something at work, you know, like I feel like the life lessons in kids movies can apply to a lot of things. And I
No,
just
they
appreciate
definitely
it.
can. That's the best kind though. Like if you could watch it with either younger siblings or your parents enjoy it, like those are the best kind of like child movies, I guess, or animated movies cuz it's like a wider audience. But I honestly don't really remember. Like I remember the first Toy Story, but like I don't know. I don't have a big connection to Toy Story, so I just feel kind of left out.
I grew up on Toy Story. Toy Story was my show. My show? Wow. Maybe it wasn't my movie if I can't say it right. I love Toy Story so much. That and Monsters Inc. Those two were.
Oh, Monsters Inc. Yeah.
You know, I get the Monsters Inc. Like the beginning, like there's all the doors, they're going around all over the place. I used to
Yeah.
act that out when I was little.
Oh,
Oh,
Like I would just run around the
God.
whole room. My grandma, she loved it.
So
that's so cute.
adorable. Oh my God. I can just imagine little Kenny now running around. Were you more of a fan of were you on team like Woody or team Buzz Lightyear when you were a kid,
Woody
Kenny?
all the way. I didn't know that was a question. Is that really a thing?
I don't know. I was just curious. So like because I know some people like one more than the other.
Nope. Mm-mm. I'm loyal to Woody. There's no reason to not like Woody more. No. I could talk about this for all day. I used to call my remember in the second movie, the villain, his name is Stinky Pete.
Yeah.
I used to call my uncle that.
Oh my
His
God.
name isn't Pete, he doesn't stink. I just called him that.
Oh,
That's so
funny.
cute.
All right. I think I milked about as much as I can out of that. Oh my God. All right. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to a different movie. I watched a movie this week as I do most weeks. This week I watched The Sound of Metal, which came out just a couple weeks ago. It is about Ruben. Ruben is played by Riz Ahmad, and Ruben is in recovery from heroin, and he is a drummer in a punk metal band. His life changes when he realizes suddenly he's losing his hearing, and he's losing it fast. It's directed by one of the co-writers on the movie, Darius Martyr. He actually wrote it with his brother. Ruben, he has a girlfriend in the movie. Her name is Lou. She's played by Olivia Cook. She's also in the band. She's the other half of the band. She's also just like him. She's in recovery. And there are a few things that stuck out to me in this movie. The first one is he is like, oh no, I'm deaf. I have to change that. I have to get this and this and change my career so I can do it again. No, I mean, of course, he does have those thoughts, but he realizes that it's not wrong to have a disability or anything like that because it never is. He realizes that it's important to accept it and be okay with the situation. Obviously, it's tough and it's going to take forever to accept, but that's part of the beauty of it. He doesn't see it as something that's wrong. He just sees it as different from what he likes. Also, the situation, obviously, it's just very traumatic. If you're in a band, if you're in a band, you want to be big. I mean, I've never been in a band, so someone that has been in a band tells me that I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I completely believe it. But that's very traumatic if you're trying to go from that. And they're on their way to making an album, and they're just done. And with addiction in particular, I think that makes it all the more stronger because trauma and addiction, they go hand in hand. They are like brother and sister. They are right next to each other all the time. I think of addiction as something that's there for when you're sad. That's what it is. You're using the substance because it's difficult to deal with whatever you need to, and you become reliant on it. And I've met many people who have that, and I completely empathize with them. And I just know from their experiences that situations like this, that's traumatic, it's hard to stay clean.
Mm-hmm.
And
It triggers that wanting to escape.
it's so much harder to stay clean. And by the end of the movie, when he's able to accept his life, you know, he's deaf. Of course, he doesn't want to be deaf. He wants to be a drummer, but that's his life. He's accepted it. He's still on the terms with his addiction. He's dealt with the change. He's done it in a positive way. I give The Sound of Metal an 8 out of 10. If you're interested, it is on Amazon Prime.
I'm definitely going to watch that just because there's so many things that I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to see how they portray that, like you said, because I think, I don't know, it's just something that's important to me to see that, because of course it's not wrong, but it's something that's hard to deal with. And I know someone in my life who's had to deal with that. So I want to see how they portray that. Maybe I'll show this movie to that person so it helps them. I don't know, like gives them something to relate to. But wow, yeah, this seems like an awesome movie. Thank you, Kenny, so much.
You're welcome. I enjoyed talking about it.
So from movies, let's dive right into some music with Jake.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Jake.
Yeah, there was like, oh, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, there's a lot going on in the music world.
Yeah, no,
I'm pumped.
Yeah, a bit more than I could keep up with. Okay, so the first song I wanted to talk about was a single by a smaller band, but they get some traction. Black Winter Wells with the single Slip Loop. This person is a songwriter, producer, so it's very electronic. It's very like, one of their big hits recently was a song called Iris, which I really liked, and it was really like kind of abrasive and that very hyper pop. But this is a bit more slow. It's very like, you could definitely hear that it's very produced. But there's not a lot of interesting stuff going on. It's just kind of general, but it is pretty. So I'd recommend checking it out. The next song I wanted to talk about was a song called If Not Now When by a band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Which, can we talk about how great of a name that is? King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Oh man, I don't know.
Crazy.
The band names are so cool. They're like mini poems, and I don't know, that's fantastic. This song is really funky. It's like, I don't know, it's very bassy, very jazzy, but like also there's lots of production elements going on. Like there's a really cool like vibraphone-esque sound that keeps coming in that's, I don't know, really cool. And the vocals are very toned down. It's not really focused on that. I don't know. I don't know if people would like jam to this exactly, but I definitely think people could enjoy it.
I mean, what genre would you consider it? What would you call it?
I don't know. That can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess I would say like jazz, like mostly jazz, but like maybe techno jazz. Like, I don't know. I kind of got the vibe from their like Spotify page that they're like nerds. Not to be like mean, but like, like I think they said something on like, I don't know, like polyphonic intervals or
What?
The music theory kind of nerdy stuff. It goes really deep, and some people get lost. But this is a cool song, and I recommend checking it out. All right, next up we had a big album, Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon, classic rapper Kid Cudi with classics like what was the big one? Pursuit of Happiness. That was him, right? So new album. And for anything, can we just like admire this artwork?
Oh.
Like, isn't that just beautiful?
Yes.
Like, I don't know, album art, like some people might say it doesn't matter, but like it matters a lot to me. I'm like, I really appreciate quality album art. But the kind of spacey, vibrant vibe that's seen on the album art is definitely like on display in the album as well, so it kind of like works. There's tracks like She Knows This, which have this really strange, like very MIDI synth sound that Cudi kind of raps over. And there's another one, Drive, that has this kind of like very like, I don't know, out there kind of, it almost kind of goes into techno territory more than rap. And it's even like, even if it's not as pronounced, it's still there on like tracks like that are more conventional, called Show Out, which includes some pretty cool features. I'm sorry, I think Pop Smoke and Skepa. So yeah, that's a good track. It's not like as kind of out there as some of the other ones, but it's definitely still there. It definitely still fits in the tone of the album. One of the highlights for me off this album was a song called The Pale Moonlight, which, I don't know, it just has this really interesting guitar riff, like it starts out with, which is definitely cool to hear on a rap album. And I don't know, it's like he kind of raps over these like really nice vocal harmonies and this kind of synth sound. And I don't know, I get really like cynical when songs try to sound epic, you know, like I remember, I think the other day, like it was Wonder by Shawn Mendes, that like, I don't know, it was like trying so hard to be like, wonder what it's like to be loved by. And it's like, ugh, shut up, dude. But like, I don't know, this one did it really great. Like, I don't know, it feels like, I don't know, it does feel epic, like unironically. And I don't know, really cool. Yeah, really, really cool album. Definitely check it out. And all right, moving on to the big fish of this week, Taylor Swift, Evermore.
Yeah, how excited Leslie got.
Yeah, so this was a total surprise, right? Like she didn't like say anything about it until yesterday, right?
Yeah, like Thursday. She didn't say
Thursday.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Thursday. And then it went on like midnight. She was just like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm just gonna drop a second album tonight. Hope you're okay with that. Like, what?
Crazy. And you know, when did Folklore come out? How long ago was that? That was the summer, right?
Like, no, that was like October, wasn't it?
No,
really,
it came out in July.
Really?
July,
like, so soon. Yeah. Like I feel like it was so close.
So just a few months ago and coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought this album started off really strong with I don't know, something that, you know, the album starts out with, and it kind of, you hear it come up again, is these really nice acoustic like sound with like these really nice strings like in the bass and like very twinkly. And I don't know, I really love that. Like, I don't know, I love that for her. It's very folky, it's very mature. And it just sounds so good. And I don't know, she definitely like in Folklore, we definitely saw her take on this more, like I said, mature, very like indie folk songwriter like vibe, and she definitely keeps with that here. We also kind of saw her embrace a more like storytelling approach to songwriting. And we definitely see that. There's you know, with tracks like "'Tis the Season," which is not conventional. That's not the actual title of the song, but this is radio. That's not. It's not the Christmas song. I thought it might be, but it's still really cool, and it definitely tells like this nice story. And also, what was that one song? That one song's crazy. What's it called? It's No Body, No Crime. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
That song is a kind of a trip. I believe it's about like, I don't know, like this dude is like abusing his wife, so she kills him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's like Taylor. I don't know. Taylor's like going out there, you know? Like,
that's so cool. See, I feel like she has like a big imagination, like when she tells stories and stuff. So I really always love that about like when she writes lyrics. Like I remember, this is random, but I remember when she wrote Love Story, and I mean, we were young when that came out, but that's just Romeo and Juliet, but with a happy ending. And I just thought that was such a creative approach. Like, oh, that's so cute. Yeah. But anyway, she really does tell stories with her songs. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
She has so many songs that are like, yes, they're her stories, but I think she also has a lot where she's telling someone else's story and like weaving in her own feelings, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. That you see a lot of that there. Yeah, and she does a really great job with her lyrics. Every once in a while, it does feel like, I don't know, I can't name any specific examples, but it does feel like, I don't know, there could have been, I guess, a bit more put into it. It does feel like a bit, like, I don't know, there are just a few parts on this album that felt a bit awkward for me. But
Interesting.
yeah, but other than that, it was pretty good. I don't know, I do have to say though, there were no really big standout songs for me on this album. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like for Folklore, one of the big ones was Betty. I thought that song was like legitimately like fantastic. It reminded me of like some of Bob Dylan's best work.
Whoa.
And like, I don't know,
there were a lot of standouts from Folklore.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say all of them, but like I'm a little biased, but there were ones where it's like when you first think of Folklore, I'm like, oh yes, Cardigan,
yeah,
Betty,
Cardigan,
Illicit Affair, like those are like big.
Wait,
really good
I have a question for you guys. Well, first thing was when it came out, I kept seeing like girls on my timeline just sobbing from like the second song. So I don't know, Leslie. Well, I have two questions, but was it emotional for you at all? And then my other question is, do you think that it's like a continuation of Folklore, or it's just completely different?
About the emotional thing, I listened to the first 4 because I had to go to sleep because I had to wake up early for the morning bus recording when it came out. So I listened to the first 4 and like the lyrics in a lot of them were very emotional. I felt myself like feeling emotional just hearing them, and I was like, I can't keep listening to this because I have to sleep, and if I get too emotional, I can't sleep. So I definitely like felt that. All the songs I listen to are kind of blending in my head right now, so I don't know specifically about the second song. I know it's Champagne Problems.
Wait, Champagne Problems? I actually I don't think I said anything about it. That song's like, if I just said that there wasn't any really standouts, but if I had to choose one, it'd probably be that. Because that's a really pretty song, very nice like pianos. And I don't know, her lyrics definitely, I could definitely see if you're gonna cry to something on this album, that's definitely it.
What was the second question?
Oh, if it was do you think Evermore is a continuation of Folklore, or that it's completely different?
Based on what I heard, I'm gonna say
oh no, go for it.
It's a continuation, but it is different. Like she's definitely taking a different approach.
I think,
and I hear a lot more upbeat beats in the background that were like almost like pop-esque, that were not Folklore at all. Folklore was very slow and almost simple, but elegant and beautiful. Where this one, there's a little bit more of like a pop element, at least in the background. One good example would be Gold Rush. Like
for sure.
Folklore was like so slow, and Gold Rush is like she never stops singing. It's like so yeah, they are different, but they are similar.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like, it never goes too far into the pop territory, but it definitely like you definitely feel it coming in, and more so than Folklore ever did. As like my answer to Caitlin's general question, I know that like Folklore had like story elements to it, and I'm not sure if I don't know, Evermore did any continuations with those, if any storylines were picked up. But I do think if it's not like a direct sequel to Folklore, it's definitely like a spiritual one.
Right. Like, I mean, Taylor Swift called it like a Folklore sister album. Yeah. So I guess they're related.
For sure. And like just with the general vibe and aesthetics, like I think it's definitely like, they're definitely linked.
Yeah. Awesome. See, I love hearing all your opinions about music always, Jake. So thank you for coming on.
For sure. Thank you very much for having me.
And now we have Issa here for some health and wellness. Issa, how are you today?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm doing so well. How about you guys? I know that the final season, holiday season, final season is just like approaching. It's an exciting time, but it's also a stressful time. So I hope that you guys are hanging in there well so far.
Doing my best.
Yes, your tips were very helpful from the last episode, so I'm excited to hear what else you have for us.
Well, I'm really happy. Yeah, today, since finals are coming to a close, they end the 14th, which is a very good thing.
Tomorrow, so that's pretty awesome.
Exactly. So we have another very interesting season coming up called the holiday season, and I am very excited for this because there's a bunch of beautiful colors out. Like you could hear all the Christmas carols on the radio. Like the houses are decorated. Like you could start writing a wish list, and you could start like I love to send cards to people, but some people are annoyed by that. But for me, that's fun. But
You don't like your cards?
oh yeah, I will. I could send them to you. Sure, I like to send
Do it.
emails through digital cards, especially now during COVID. A lot of people love those. Like you could send nice pictures, edit them, and then just like send. Oh,
Yeah.
happy holidays! People love that.
That's so cute. I want to do that now.
I recommend completely. It's awesome. It's a great idea, and it's just like a very fun time. But amongst this like whole season, a lot of people just like forget to like incorporate some self-care. And since my segment's about health and wellness, I would love to talk about some fun like hacks and tips to optimize your health and just to be like on your best, like start off the day with your best foot, just like feel the best during this holiday season. And there's just like some fun ways you could just keep your immunity up, stay active, stay focused, stay engaged, and just like make your body more happy and healthy. So first and foremost, this might sound like something strange, but I highly recommend. And this is something that my family does all the time, especially when it gets colder. We use more spices. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean like cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, ginger, turmeric, cayenne, all those different spices that like are considered maybe more exotic and that are like it's not like hot sauce or like sauces. It's just the specific powdered spices themselves. Now, why is this so important? Now, what spices do, they raise metabolism and they help fight inflammation, they help your immunity, they help digestion, and they just enhance your food. That the food that you eat, like off your plate, just becomes more enhanced with nutrients and more absorbed by your body. Basically, let's say if you have a fish and has omega-3 and you eat that fish, if you eat it with spices, that omega-3 like in the fish and its properties will be more absorbed by your body. So
Really?
I recommend. Oh yeah, that's very. It's not so common here, but like, yeah, mind blown. But like, that's why many like I always say like exotic, but like many ancient cultures, like the Indian culture, Chinese, Japanese, a lot of the non-Western cultures, even like some of the European cultures, utilize a lot of spices to enhance digestion from the food, but also to preserve it, to keep it longer. And so when we eat it, like it's our body uses it in the proper way. If that makes sense.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What kind of dinners can you like, I mean, if it's even possible, like how would you incorporate like cinnamon and nutmeg into like dinners? Because to me they sound more like baking spices.
Oh yeah, I get you. Well, you could definitely do it through baking, but through dinners, I know that especially when it comes to like making ground meat, meatballs, I know me and my sister, we made authentic Swedish meatballs, and they do use a little bit of nutmeg. A lot of these spices you don't have to use a lot of. You could use just like a few, like a pinch. Like we like to cook with like this weight scale at home, so you could easily, you just put the bowl on and then you just add it off, you zero off the scale and you see how much you add. So you could put like a gram, you could put just like even a teaspoon of the spice. You don't have to put a lot of it to actually get the effect. So adding just a little bit to like ground meat, if you're making meatballs, like that enhances the taste so much. You could add it to like try adding cinnamon if you're like making sweet potato or normal potatoes. It makes it taste so much different. Definitely in like incorporating ginger a little more, like the powdered ginger. You could add it to like stews, to chilies, to soups, pumpkin soup. You can make it a little sweet.
I like soup.
And definitely what I also recommend, drinking spice tea also helps, or adding like a little bit of cinnamon to your coffee. It enhances it and it just makes it taste so much better. If you don't have many different spices, they also have, I know in like stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, they have gingerbread spice, or I know it's already past the season, but pumpkin spice is very similar to gingerbread spice.
No, it's never out of season for pumpkin spice.
Yeah,
okay?
it's no holiday thing. So yeah, I highly recommend to get like a spice combination, just like with a combination of a few spices. So you could just add that, or you could have like a Cajun spice. Just make sure they're like natural. They don't have any creepy additives to them, because sometimes they really like mess it up by like adding a bunch of preservatives to it.
Oh boy.
But definitely utilize more spices to really enhance your health. It's a small thing, but it really goes a long way. So second, a lot of people don't know this because now it's cold and we want to stay inside. But going for walks outside, especially when it's cold, is healthy for you. But you have to make sure you dress warmly for it. Now, this might sound very counterintuitive, but when our bodies get too comfortable, that's when our immunity slightly goes down. And when we do go outside, when we do expose ourselves, like let's say to other people or something, we could more easily catch a virus or catch a cold or become weaker. Like our immune system could be weakened. So going for brisk winter walks, like of course, like putting on a jacket and a hat, because about 60% of your heat escapes from your head. So just making sure, like, yeah, it's very
I
interesting.
did not know that. What?
Yeah. It's a lot of from your hands and feet, but mostly your hands and your head, because they're the most things that are exposed. So
You gotta wear your
just
hand
making
gloves.
yeah, exactly. That's why it's important. So making sure that you dress up and that you go for a walk, but take like really breathing in the air and really having a nice time. Like especially now, everything is just crisp and like clean outside. There's really nothing in the air that could make you sick.
So it's
So
healthy to breathe in that cold air, because I feel like a lot of times, like you go outside, like I know my mom's always like, make sure you have a scarf, like it's too cold, like to
oh yeah,
inhale, like.
you need to be careful not to get like too sick, because you don't want like the back of your, especially with the scarf, you don't want the back of your neck to get too cold, because that's what could get you like to have like sinuses or like have some sort of maladies around, like with your head, like get sick, have your eyes tearing, like stuffed nose. So making sure that you dress warm, but breathing in that air, like it's very clean, it's very crisp, and it's really good because in Europe this is really popular. People love to go for walks because it not only increases blood flow and circulations because you're moving around, but also because it's cold, your body's more stimulated, more woken up, like your nerves like are more active, your blood flow flows through you in a much better pace. Not that it's faster, that it promotes high blood pressure, but like it flows through you as opposed to just like kind of goes at a slow pace. So even guys, try it, like try going for a quick cold like walk in the cold, of course being all bundled up and warm, but like going and breathing in the air, see how much more awake you're going to feel. It's and it's a fun hack, because if you ever feel down, tired, like doing everything, just going for a brisk walk really helps. Not only that, but it's fun because now it's a different time outside, and even if it's snowing, it might be cool, like walking in a winter wonderland. But
He was like, slip
Oh, that
that
was
in
so
there.
it's a holiday season after all. And last but not least, how to combat like stress, negativity, anything that's just I would say that causes like negativity for you in this time would be definitely to do something kind for someone. Like it's the season of joy because we do so many good things. Like people want to volunteer, people want to have a festive atmosphere. So honestly, giving into that goodness, doing something good for someone, forgiving someone, sending someone a card, just like letting yourself, like really allowing yourself to be like a good, innocent, and just like well-intended person, like a good-willed person, it really could take you far, and it does improve health. Like it's funny because we don't think about it, but emotionally speaking, mentally speaking, you're gonna feel much better like about yourself, and like psychologically, like they say a lot of the chemicals in your brain balance so much better, like serotonin comes up, cortisol like decreases. So it does a lot of good for your body to be good, do good, and feel good.
That's awesome. See, you always have the best tips for us. I just like listening to your segment makes me so happy, and I feel like I can go into the world and just like we can handle this today. Like I don't know.
No, yeah, sure, because that's what it's all about, like health and wellness. Especially nowadays, a lot of people think it's a normal thing to feel sick, like it's just a normal thing, but it's not. And we think so because we just got used to living like in a certain way for a long time. But in reality, we can make it much better. We just need to like make some little shifts, and they're very small. It's supposed to be practical and easy after all.
Yeah, just add some nutmeg, go for a walk, and send a card. It's that easy.
Exactly, easy to do
Put
list.
nutmeg in the card, take your nutmeg on you with the walk,
Yeah,
combine
exactly.
it for extra health.
And drink your cinnamon. Send your cinnamon a card.
Yes, amazing. But you know what? Thank you, Issa, for everything. We love having you on, and make sure you tune in for our holiday episode because I'm very excited for that. So,
ooh, yeah, same thing.
Yep. Got that coming up next weekend. I don't know what Issa has prepared, but I'm sure it's gonna be great, as well as all of our entertainment tips. So,
Yes.
yep, that's
Well, yeah.
all we got for you today for Week and Wake Up. We'll see y'all later and have a great Sunday. Bye.
Bye.